This conference will now be recorded.
Okay. So last week we were working on RDS, right? So RDS at the last moment we are unable to test it. We are able to uh, create the database, RDS database, but no with MySQL, but we are unable to test it successfully. We could not test it. So that is because the reason is that we have to add a security group. We have to add a rule to the security group that we forgot to add. Today let's see that we'll add a security group and let's test the connectivity. Okay, and then we'll continue with the next topic, that is Lambda. Okay, so AWS RDS here, click on create database, the same thing which we did on that same day. So we have standard create and easy create. So let's choose standard create and choose MySQL. So version is selected 8.0.35, and then don't select production, select free tier while practicing. So DB instance identifier, you can change it or else you can keep it as it is. And your username is admin, and your master password, you can add your own password here. So this is a default db.t3.micro, which will take 1 GB RAM, 2 CPU, 2 core CPU. Default storage allocated is 20 GB. Auto scaling, if you require auto scaling, you can choose auto scaling. If it is not required, you can disable it. And we want to access it publicly, so I am selecting it publicly. And here here we have selected default. So on the day, so we'll see the issue again and then we'll fix the issue. We'll replicate the issue today again. So zone, no preference, we will give no preference to it. And this is a port. So this is a one we have to add to our security group. This is a rule we have to add to the security group. So we have to allow this port. So 3306 is a port number which we have to allow. On that day we have not allowed it. That is the reason we are could not able to connect it. But anyway, we'll see that. Additional configurations. See here we have option called enable automated backups. In real time we will take it, but for this not required. And encryption also, I don't want to take any encryption. That's all. So I'm selected Mumbai region. But if you select North Virginia by unknowingly, if you North Virginia is selected, then no, your database RDS database MySQL will be deployed in multiple zones. So better you go with Mumbai. So and in other regions sometimes this option will be auto selected. So when it is auto selected, what happens is that whenever you try to delete the database, you could not delete it. Okay, you cannot delete it. So what you have to do then, you have to change modify the database, and you have to come over here and you have to uncheck this option. So here in this Mumbai region it is not selected, but some regions no, it by default it will be selected. So careful. So it is just a production, so that your database should not be deleted accidentally. Now click on create database. So password is not matching, it seems. And forgot, one more thing I forgot. What is the database name, initial database name? So the database name we can give something like so if you are working with FedEx or it's again normally depends on the project name. Normally for which project you are using the database. So FedEx is the project, for example FedEx DB I will say. So FedEx DB, it's related to a project and it's a DB. And just come down and click on create database. Now close this. So it will just wait till it creates the database. It's creating. Today, what we're planning to do is that after that we will understand what is AWS Lambda, and after that we'll start uh, Git and GitHub. So we'll start today itself Git and GitHub. So most probably in this week we complete Git and GitHub, and we'll start next week start Jenkins. Okay, so now once Lambda is finished, we'll start Git and GitHub. And and if I notice if any topic is missed or any topic need to be added to our course, if time permits, definitely I will add some more topics regarding AWS cloud. And I will conduct it in one of the weekend. I will take one session on that. If I found some any other service to be uh, okay, if any service is required for us, then I will add that as well, even though it is not in our course. Okay, if I find it is important, then I will add that one as well. But not immediately. We have done enough services. It's enough for now. Let's continue with Git and GitHub and DevOps tools. So on the day we have given a username and password and endpoint. So endpoint we require now, and hopefully you have to install. If you not install, you install this workbench to test the connection. So we have already installed it. So let me check whether it's available here. Workbench. Yeah, this is the one. Uh, After you install, you get something like this. Seems it is connected. Just go above and click on view connection details. In this, everything is same except the endpoint. Copy the endpoint. This is endpoint we have to give to the developers. That ends our job actually, but still let's go to one step ahead and we'll test whether our connection is working or not. So for that you have to install MySQL workbench on for Windows, and then select please view check your previous video. Okay, how to install MySQL connection, right? And click on plus symbol here. So in the plus symbol you have to give the host name. In the host name you have to paste the endpoint, and port number is 3306. The same port number, it automatically shows the correct port number. If it does not show, then it is 3306. Or even you can find, close this, you can find in our database. You go there, you can find the details uh, about port number. Here is a port number 3306. Okay, now username same, view admin, and password. Obviously it should fail. So now I click on test connection. So on the day it failed, so same scenario we are replicating now also it will not connect. So it does not connect it, right? So what we have to do, I told you that we have to create a security group. So let's go to the security group and create a security group. Just duplicate this window. In the search box type security group. Here let's create a security group. I will say this as a FedEx database DB security group, something I will say like this. Okay, and here now this inbound rule is outbound rule. Don't add here. Go to your inbound rule only. In this add rule, here you select MySQL. Type MySQL. You'll get MySQL Aurora. Okay, if you select only MySQL, if you select only MySQL, the port number is different. It is 1433, right? But we need port number 3306. For that, you have to select the type as MySQL Aurora. Select MySQL Aurora. Aurora is a database. It belongs to AWS. So AWS guys have their own database called Aurora. Okay, Aurora database is faster than MySQL. It's nearly 5 times faster than MySQL, and it's nearly 3 times faster than PostgreSQL. PostgreSQL is faster than PostgreSQL and faster than MySQL. So if you want to use Aurora database, you can use Aurora database as well. Okay, same thing, same how we added MySQL, same way you can select my Aurora. When you're creating a database, you have to select Aurora engine. We selected MySQL engine, you have to select Aurora engine. Same process. Then source, anybody can access it anywhere. So this is a port we have to add. Now come down and click on create security group. Go to our database. Now we have to modify the database, because what security group it is pointing to, it is pointing to default security group. This we have to change it. Yes, so we have to change it now. So click on modify. Here it is default. Just select our group security group, that is FedEx DBSG. Select it, and remove the default one. So this is the one you have to select. Continue. Modify DB. Actually, I should have selected apply immediately. I have not selected it, but it doesn't matter. If you observe carefully, we have apply immediately option is there. Okay, but still no problem. We have to wait for a second. If it does not reflect immediately, see, it's modifying now. We have to wait till it applies. It's available now. Okay, next thing what we have to do, let's try our connection. So nothing I need to do here, nothing I have to do anything. Just click on again test connection. Now you see successfully made the MySQL connection. So that's all we have to do. That's all we have to do. Then we are, this is enough actually. Okay. Oh, sorry. The pay, some name if you want to enter, I can enter some name, something like FedEx DB connection, for example. Okay, test connection is done. Then click on OK. So you will get here. Normally in real time they won't use it, but only for testing purpose we are using it. When you double click on it, we can get a it will open like this. Okay, and here our FedEx DB will be there. So you can add, you can connect to tables and everything. Okay, right? So if you want to create insert some data also, you can do it, but that's not our job. Okay, if you want to play with the database, always we have like no what do you call W3 school. Go to here and you can practice if you want, if you are interested. So we have here in this we have SQL. Okay, you can always use these commands. So to insert, how to insert into the table, those things you can try here. Commands, normally queries will be same, always queries will be same. No change in the queries. Whether you use MySQL, Oracle, or you use SQL, no common platform. Okay, so every, sorry, Microsoft SQL Server, they having their own platform. Oracle, they having their own platform. So everybody have their own platform. The look and feel is different, but end of the day the queries which we run over there are same, right? So that's about our database. So any questions here, please? So here let's I will stop this one. Go to actions and click on delete. So what happens, cannot create because uncheck this. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Okay, it is doing its job now. Now next thing what we have to do is, let's connect to let's try to understand what is AWS Lambda, right? So what is AWS Lambda? So actually, normally what happens is that, as you know, till now we deployed in one of your initially when we saw how the projects are deployed into the servers, both in Linux machines and Windows servers. In Windows servers we installed web server like IAS, and in Linux machines we installed Apache web servers, and on top of it we installed our downloaded our program web application and deployed them, and then we access them using the public IP. So for every application, where any web application, it is must to have server. First of all, a server you have to be created, and then you have to install the OS, and then you have to install the web server, and then you have to deploy your application, right? But when using AWS Lambda, you can deploy your project on the cloud without having a server, so we can deploy our application without a server. Okay, so then how come it works then? So before you understanding how it works, but try to understand that when you use Lambda, the company who are using Lambdas, so they will be saving a lot of money. Yes, because they don't no need to maintain any server. They need to pay anything to the servers, right? For the RAM or CPU or hard disk, for these volumes, these things they don't need to pay anything. So due to that, the company will save a lot of money. So then how these people use Lambda? Normally this mostly used by developers. So how what they do? Normally, as you know, if you take any application, you take any application in any, it's web or desktop, any application you take. Okay, for example, if you take web application itself, so in web application, when what the developers do, whether they develop in Java or .NET, what they do, or in Python. Okay, what they do, they write code. Okay, they code. The code will not be continuously line by line. They will write code using methods or functions. So these functions or methods I tried to introduce in our shell scripting. I told you, right, in shell scripting we write our code in a method, and we can call that method using the method name. So whenever you call it that method, automatically whatever code written in that method will be executed. So if you call it 10 times the instructions written in the method will be executed, right? So any project developed using, they must have methods and functions. So they cannot write in one method, they cannot write complete logic. The logic has to be splitted into multiple methods, multiple parts. So they call it them as methods, right? So for, and in the Java.NET they will have a main method will be there, something like main, they call it as a main method. Okay, or you can think it as a startup method. So this startup method will call other methods. So assume in your application there are some thousand methods, but when you run your application, when you execute your application, the first method main will be called. In that, the other method will be called, the other method will call other method, like that every method whatever you written, thousand methods whatever you written, accordingly your logic, they will be, each method will be called among themselves. So whatever activity done by the end user who are using your application, whatever he clicks on the button on, or anything you do, then automatically the associated method will be called. So what does it mean now? A application nothing but it contains all methods with fragmented code, all having some meaningful logic in each method. If you click a button, you get it, that will have some logic in that method, associated method with that button, that logic will be performed. Now in Lambda also same thing. Lambda contains all methods only. So in Lambda, everything will be the methods form. They will write all methods. They don't need to deploy. They write the methods under Lambda. They will create multiple Lambda functions. So actually we call it as Lambda functions. Lambda functions. So in each function they will write whatever logic they're writing in their web application. They used to write whatever logic they used to write in the web application. If they want to convert to, if they want to use Lambda functions, then they have to write each function logic inside the Lambda function. So then whatever is happening here, the same thing will happen on Lambda functions. So now what happens is that if you assume if you have not used Lambda functions, then if you traditionally, if you do the same way, you will rent a EC2 instance and you deploy your application, then your application is running in that. So now the charges will be like the EC2 instance is running for 24 by 7, suppose, then the 25 by 7 your CPU and your RAM, RDS, everything will be charged 24 by 7. Even though assume in between there is some ideal period, nobody accessing your application, even then you will be charged, right? If you go in a traditional way. But now mostly in AWS Lambda it is different. So if any person access your application using browser, and when he clicks a button, then only that method associated with that button, that function will be, Lambda function will be executed. And how much seconds that method has executed, basing on that seconds, my milliseconds or microseconds, that much how much it executed, that much time you have to pay for them. You have to pay how many seconds it has executed, that basing on the seconds you have to pay the money. So here automatically your AWS provider will do what? He will create a server for you internally. Of course, without server it won't work actually, but internally we no need to understand how they create it, what they do. But end of the day, try to understand they definitely have their own servers. In that servers, they're running this logic. They have the servers, they have the Java runtime environment software, or .NET. If you're running .NET runtime environment will be there in the server. Everything will be there, but the backend, but that will be maintained by the AWS provider. We no need to maintain it, right? So by this what happens, even though your application is not accessed by consumers, customers, then you no need to worry about paying any money to the provider. Because you are not, anyway you are not using their infrastructure. You are using only the Lambda functions. Whenever the application running, whenever any function executed, only for that function you have to pay the money. This way company saves a lot of money. Let's see this practically. So when you create a database, RDS database, go to snapshots. Finally, you did the snapshot as well. Click on the left side, we have snapshots. Okay, in the Amazon RDS, we have another option, snapshots. Click in there and you find it. Because in EC2 instances also we have snapshots, not that one. You have to select the snapshots under Amazon RDS. Okay, do not forget it. Okay, then delete snapshot. Okay, this also you must delete it. Do not forget. And then go to Lambda. So AWS Lambda lets you run code without thinking about servers. You pay only for the compute time that you consume. There is no charge when you code, when your code is not running. With Lambda, you can run code for virtually any type of application or backend service, all with zero administration. Okay, no need to worry, no need to administrate your virtual machines. Now let's click on create function. So when you create a function, we have three options provided here. You can create your function from scratch, or you can use blueprint, means already there are some Lambda functions available for you, you can use them. Or you can use container image. If you have any image, when you learn Docker at the time you understand what is container image. If you have those, you can use them as well. Okay, if you use blueprint, so we have a lot of functions available already written in different languages. Okay, Python, Node.js, right? Different in language they have written it, you can use them if you want. So already they have lot of templates, you can use them if you want. Okay, but in my case, let's try to understand first with, let's go with the scratch, from scratch. Let's give an example, uh, sample function one. And which language you want to runtime is, I told you, right? For Java or for .NET, as I told you, a building is there, a building should be constructed, means you should have pillars, right? Without the pillars, your your building cannot stand up. So similarly, your Python application or Java application, for them, like pillars, you have to install runtime. Is it a runtime software you have to install? So which runtime you want to use, you want to use to build your application, to run your application. So for this I want to use Python. The Python latest version is 3.12. you can go with 3.12. And architecture, always go with x86 underscore 64. ARM 64 is mostly used for mobile applications, right? Like tablets kind of applications. And then if you see here permissions, if you expand it, we have three types. Create a new role with basic Lambda permissions. So if you simply click create function, then you will be automatically a role will be created for you. So that role will allow our Lambda function, it will give some basic permissions to run our Lambda service. And if you want to use an existing role, you can use it, or create a new role from AWS policy templates. So you want already AWS have some policies, you want to use them, you can, then you can go with it. So as of now for this sample, this is enough. Create a new role with basic Lambda function permissions are enough. Now click on create function. So successfully created the function sample one. Now this is sample function one. Now if you come down, this is the code. The default code, it's a Python code. It's importing JSON. So we no need to understand about this code, but developers, if they are interested, they can go through it. So def means nothing but a function, right? Right. Yes. Right. So different language use different syntaxes. So Python uses def as a beginning, okay, and if Java uses different, JavaScript uses different, C sharp uses different, C++ uses different. So every language have their own syntaxes. So and Lambda handler is a name. This name you should not change when you're practicing. This is the default name. So and here event, so any event occurs, then the details of that event will be automatically added into this event variable. We call it as a variable, and you can use this variable if you want. And now it is simply returning some status code and body, so it's JSON, right? So if you know JSON, then you can understand it better. But for me, let I want to print some text here. For example, if you click on test button, you see here test button, configure test event. So what here, whatever values are sent, event JSON, whatever I send the values, these values will come inside this event variable. I want to push some values into event so that I can access here the values inside the event. So programmatically developers will send the values, but here we are not programmers. Then how we can test it? Simply click on test here, you can test it, right? Here we have many templates as well, different templates also there. You can use this template as well if you want, okay. And here the simple test I want to do is here key value is there. I want to print some well, key name can be anything. Key can be one or two or empty, no problem. It's not mandatory. Suppose key name I want to give first name, and I will say here some name as Ram, and another key last name something like Kumar. So key is Fn, and Ram is the name. So whenever you access the key, then automatically the value associated with that key will be printed. If you want, if you print, you will get it. Now you want to print the Kumar value, then you have to access the, you have to tell that I want the value of the key name Ln. So how to access them, we'll see. I'm saving it. Sorry, event name, you can give some name here. Event, example, right? So event one, just save it now. Now the event, now what we can do is that you take a variable message equal to. So in some language they have to, you have to mention what type of variable it is. MSG is a variable. Like shell scripting, you can directly give the variable name, same like shell script. So no need to mention what type of value it is going to hold. So normally in C language or other language, you have to mention what type of value it is going to use. So message, I will say hello. Simply I want to print a message like this: hello, Mr. uh, Ram Kumar. This is a value I want. This Ram and Kumar I want to get it from the event. So that event I'm populating using the, just now added the JSON data right there. So hello Mr. This value I'm just cutting here and I'm pasting inside it. And then next, so it's called concatenation. That concatenation of strings. So you are adding multiple strings now. Now here I want to after Mr. I don't want any space. After dot immediately I want Ram. So event, event have that value. So event, you can say event in a square bracket, you can say 0. When you say 0, what happens? How many keys we have? How many keys we have? Three keys, right? One more, please. We have key. One is first name and another is last name. First name is the first key, so first key you can access using 0. So when you say event of, it's something like event of ln. It's something like event ln. So ln is a key, and the value associated with this key is ram. I want to print ram, right? I want to print ram, then I have to access the key value. So I cannot, instead of giving ln, I can give I square bracket 0. Okay, or you can give directly event ln also. So that is the value I want. Whatever key associated with that ln I want to print out. So ln is a key, and associated value for is ram. After ram, I want some space here, some space I want. Then again concatenate and give in double quotation some space here. Okay, and then plus him again, you are concatenating. This time event I want Kumar is available in which key? Ln. Oh, I'm sorry, this first fn, right? First name, the first name and the last name is the last name. Now what I'm doing here now, message equal to hello Mr. Event fn displays the first name plus space event ln last name. So the complete hello Mr. Ram Kumar should printed. It is copied inside a message variable. This message variable I want to print. So in Python we have method already, pre-written method is there, that is called print. Print do what? Like echo. In shell scripting we have echo, right? Same thing, print works same like echo. So in this you simply say msg. Now let's test it. Before testing, you have to deploy it. You have to click on deploy button. Once it's deployed, then click on test button. So you see output will show like this. Hello Mr. Ram Kumar. Right? The Ram and Kumar, we fetched it from the event variable. This is one simple example. If you take another example, for example, EC2 instance, for example, I want to start this EC2 instance, same like our shell scripting or AWS CLI. The same thing you can do with Python. It is called Python scripting. If you want to explore Python, you can use Python scripting. You can use Boto 3. So AWS provides for every language. It provides documentation for every language. So you can go through these code samples. So many are there. S3 examples. So these are the methods. So you can use, if you want to do Python scripting, if your company requires them to work on using Boto 3, then you have to go through this documentation. You can, I will give some small introduction, but to explore the knowledge you can go with AWS already having tutorials on that documentation. You can go through their API and you can practice them. Okay, very simple. So but for now what I will do, I will create an instance. So you can, as an assignment, you can practice using lambdas. We have a lot of examples here. So everything from so you no need to install these things. You can directly use lambdas if you want, or you can install in one of your Linux machine. These are the commands you have to use. Otherwise, you can directly use our lambda functions to practice. So these things we already saw, how to configure and how to assign your default key and access key and secret access key. You can use them and you can start practicing if you want. Okay, now our server is running now. Now I want to stop this server. Then to stop the server, what I have to do? Through Lambda I want to do it, for example. Okay, then what we have to do? Simply let's try with another example, this one example, and go to functions here, creates function here. Okay, EC2 something I will give stop start, something I write it, and the code language I want Python. Okay, and then what? Then what? Can't can you execute? Can you control with Lambda directly? You cannot control using Lambda. You cannot control our EC2 instances. For that, you need permissions. Okay, let's try without permissions. What will happen? Then we'll see, fix the issue. Okay, let's go with a normal function. Create a new role with basic Lambda permissions. Okay, now click on create function. Now a function is created now. Now here we have to import Boto3. Instead of JSON, you have to import Boto3. Am I sharing this one? Yep. So Boto3 you have to import it. And next now, what we have to do? Which instance you want to stop? I want to stop this instance. Then copy this ID. You can copy number of IDs, no problem. Not only single, you can, if you have multiple instances, you can copy multiple instances, you can control all of them. So here you can create a variable something like instance ID, something you can say equal to, in square bracket you have to give the instance ID. Now I have given one ID. If you have multiple, you can put a comma here, and you can another ID you can put in single quotation. Okay, this way you can add multiple instances. As of now I have only one instance ID. And which in which region it is there? In which region it is there? In Mumbai region, right? Is Mumbai region? It's in Mumbai region. So then you have to mention the region variable. It's a variable, right? Like shell scripting, you can give any name, no problem. You can give some complete name, or you can give simple reg is also fine, no problem. So here which region it is? So single quotation you have to mention which region it is. AP South, right? AP South 1. So this is the region. This is in this region our server is running, AP South 1. And next you can remove this complete code here. And one more thing, another variable, uh, something like EC2 reference. You can give any name. Don't go with the name. Like shell scripting, you can give any name. So here I want the reference. I want to, so I want, if you want to maintain control the EC2 instance, then you want the connection reference to that EC2 instances. Then how can we get it? We have a method called Boto3. Boto3, you import Boto3. Boto3 is a package. In this we have lot of methods, lot of pre-written methods. Okay, when you say dot, and when you type client is a method, pre-written method. So what we are going to do here is, to which service you want connection. I want which, for which resource you want a reference, for which reference you want to control. Then you have to mention it in, I want to control EC2. You can mention service name as EC2, right? And then which what is instance ID? So you want to control EC2, but not only instance ID. You have to mention the region, which region it is. So you should say region underscore name, region name equal to the region we already have here. So this name you can assign to it. So I want to connect to EC2 instances running in this region. I want the control of all the instances running in this region. So now EC2 reference will automatically get control or reference to that EC2 instances running in that region. Now using this variable, or normally we should say it's variable, you can control the instances, like you want to stop or start anything. If you want to do, you can do it, because we got the reference to all the instances running inside this region. Now the south, AP South region. Now you can use this variable, copy this variable. Now onwards you can in your method. So we are not writing this, we are not writing this inside this method, we are writing above. Normally we say them as, we say them as global variables. Why? Because in real time we will not, I'm sorry, main function. Why? Because in real time we will be writing multiple methods, multiple lambda in a lambda function we will write multiple methods. So each method may reference these variables. So if you copy and paste inside this lambda function, then it is available only to this method. If you have multiple methods, then since they are global variables, all the methods inside this lambda function can access these three variables. So if you want them common, then you can put it there. Now I want to reference this variable inside my lambda function. Now what I will do, I will paste here dot, I will say stop instance, for example stop instances, I should say. Suppose I want to stop instances, and then what is instance id, what is the instance id, you have to give which instance you want to stop. So what is it is called array, actually we call it as array. Array means a variable which can hold more than one value. Array means more than one value it can hold. Normally you see this is a variable, it can hold only one value, only one value. It also only one value it can hold, but this is a different kind of type of variable, because in front of it we have square bracket. That means this is an array variable, that means it can hold more than one value. Now in this reference you should call stop instances. This is again a method. So these all things you can get it in the quick start. You can find for S3 we have bucket a method like that. Similarly in place of S3 you are using EC2. EC2 dot stop instance, I'm saying like bucket S3 can access, but S3 cannot access stop instances, only EC2 can say. So for S3 they have different methods, for EC2 we have different methods. So it is running now, I want to stop it. Then what you have to do, go to stop instance and equal instance ID equal to which instance you want to stop. This is the value, this contains all the instance IDs. Copy this and place in bit in front of it. So stop instances is another method. Like you see, lambda handler is a method, it having some variable. Similarly stop instance is a variable, is a method, it taking like event, it also having some a variable name called instance ID. So to that I am passing this value. Previous example what we did, we passed last name and first name to the event. Similarly I am passing like last name first name, I am passing this value instance id, I am passing to this variable. This variable belongs to stop instances method. This method you can access using our is2 reference. Now when you run this, then this should stop our instance. And another important thing is that since you stopping it, it immediately actually the function methods will execute within seconds. So for that reason, instance which we want to stop, you have to give some time to it, some delay time you have to give, so that it can communicate with the instance, and it generates a command to stop that. So for that, how you can, you have to increase the delay time. So for this function to execute, you have to give some delay time. For that, what we have to do, go to here on the top, click on configuration. Okay, in the configuration on the left side, if you observe carefully, we have general configuration. Click on general configuration. Here you see timeout. So normally they given as 3 seconds, 0 minutes 3 seconds. That means your lambda mostly it won't take, by default it is taking only 3 seconds to execute. If you want to increase this timeout, you can give time. So click on edit button here, come down here, your timeout is 0, right? I will give you some 5 minutes, something 5 minutes I want to give. Okay, then come down and save. So ideally my it's time is changed to 5 timeout to 5 minutes. Again click on code here. When you click on code, you will come to our code. Now ideally this code should not run. Let's see what will happen. Now I'm deploying it. Now test it. Click on invoke. No, click on invoke. You see an error occurred, unauthorized operation. Unauthorized operation. When calling stop instance, you are not authorized. Okay, you are not authorized to perform this operation. So this lambda also having some ARN. So this does not have required permissions. So as I told you initially, this will not work. Why? Because as you know, when we worked previously with queues when we worked, we added some roles policies. So I told you while working on beanstalk as well, whenever in cloud, whenever a service want to access other service, then we have to give role in a role we have to create a new role. In that role we have to add a policy and assign that policy to the service which it is trying to access another service. So you have to give that permission in the policy. Similarly, our lambda function is trying to access EC2 instance. That means our lambda function does not have permission to access EC2 instance to stop it. Okay, then for that reason what we have to do, to our lambda function we have to add a policy such that our lambda will get a permission so that it can stop that instance. So how can we add a policy? So click on configuration again, click on left side permissions. So a role name is created here by default with a name easy to start stop role with some value. Okay, you click on this button, a new window will open. Now you see we are into the identity and access management dashboard. So if you see, come down, this is the role. This role you see under roles we are in the under roles. In the role, the role having default policy, it is called AWS Lambda basic execution role. It having only basic execution role. Some other role I want to also add. So click on add permission, click attach policies. I want to execute EC2, right? Stop and start. That means you should have full rights, full access. So select Amazon EC2 full access, select it and click on add permissions. Policies attached to role, right? Now let's try. Now this time let's try whether we can do it or not. Click on code again. Okay. Now no changes. If you do any changes, you have to deploy. No changes, so simply click on test button. It is saying now it is running successfully. Now let's go here on our instance. No issue, no errors are coming, right? No errors are coming. Start request, end request, request. Okay, test event, response null. If you give some response, you can give it, but that is again developers will do it. But for now, you see it's if when I refresh it, it is stopped now. So using Lambda, we can control any service, not only as I shown you one example, right? If you want to stop it, the simple as you already guessed it. Instead of start, here you click on Lambda function. Here this tab, or on the left side you can click our Lambda function. So it's a Python ends with .py. You can click this one, double click on it, or click on the tab itself. If you want to stop, you might have guessed already. Instead of stop, you can say start. Correct, correct, right. Normally we won't do this way. Normally developers do this programmatically. They will do our mostly we won't involve in this area. Mostly we won't involve. Very rare. Where if you know it better, if you know it better, having the knowledge is a plus point. Okay. So if you're a Python developer, assume so they will the company will ask you to write a Python script. Then you have to do use lambdas. Now click on deploy. I've changed the code. Now start, and you have to click it and deploy again. Yeah, and start again. Test it again. This time error came. What is error? Okay, some a name start is there. ST instances I'm not mentioned like that, but where is ST instances? Let me. So it's let me try to type it again. So this not behaving properly. Start underscore instances. Okay, that's all. Now deploy. Now it's working fine. So sometimes weirdly it behaves. Now when you refresh, it should be in pending state. So it will start. Now before it start, hope you understood how to work with lambdas. And one more last example, let's try with message queues. Now create a function here. Now write a message, another one. Okay, get or fetch SQS messages. Suppose Your SQS got some message, you can pull it through your Lambda method. Okay, so you select again Python, again create function. Meanwhile, it will be ready. It is ready now. Now you can stop it, terminate it. You can terminate it. No use. Next, what I will do? Here I will type what SQS. Go to simple queue service. Create a queue. So standard queue and FedEx something logs or something or messages. I will give something. No problem. Right. So FedEx messages, app messages something, and then that's all. Come down and click on create queue. Now you have a queue. Now you are inside the FedEx app queue. Okay. Now whenever I send a message. Now previously we saw S3 service send messages to queue, right? Then those messages Lambda can pick it up and it can read the file names what queue having. That way you can join S3 queue and Lambda. Here we are doing manually. We are sending some message one from FedEx app, some message. Okay, now this message I'm sending it, but before I click on send button, we have to prepare our fetch SQS messages. This is a method. This I don't want these things. Okay, the message whatever the queue sending will come into the event. It will come automatically to the event. So what I have to do, I simply have to print that event. Print event. Okay, print event. So when I print event, then the value whatever the queue is sending, we can see it. Okay, now when I click on send message, it we are nowhere connected our queue with our Lambda. So there is an option here to connect our queue to Lambda. How to connect? Click on the FedEx app messages. Okay, click on FedEx app messages. This is a queue, our queue. Come down here, Lambda triggers are there. Click on Lambda triggers. Here configure Lambda function. Click on that, and then when you drop it down, then you should see our Lambda function. This is a function. What name you have given? Fetch SQS messages, right? That name you should get it. It's not getting. I have not created. Yes, we have created it. I'm sorry. Oh my God! Thank you. See, again a mistake here. Mumbai, here in Mumbai region, and here I mean the queue I created in North Virginia. So this again a difficult situation. So you have to delete it. So when you practicing, don't confuse. Okay, myself I confused here. So now you have to change it. The region you have to change it to Mumbai. Okay, create a queue now. Something I'll give, or I'll see. To just differentiate, because if you don't see this, then you don't know what is the name for which service you are using. And after that, in this queue, you come down and select Lambda triggers. Click on configure Lambda trigger. Then you click on the drop down. You will see three functions. We have three functions in Lambda service. We have three functions. Out of this, I want to select fetch SQS messages and click on save. You should get an error here. So could not configure trigger for queue. Error, invalid parameter value, error message, the provided execution role does not have permission to call receive message on SQS. So our Lambda is going to call receive message on SQS. But our Lambda does not have sufficient permissions to call this receive message on SQS. So what we have to do? We have to go to our Lambda, and to our Lambda we have to give SQS full permission. Like EC2 view again, similarly we have to do it. Full permission. Simply you come over here, go to configuration, click on permission. This is our role name permission. Click on it, and here add permission. So we are under that role. Okay, same role. Click on add permission, attach policies, SQS full access. You see SQS full access we have. Click on it, add permission. So now we have SQL permission as well. Now this time, what I will do, I will try to click on save again. Now you see it is properly connected now. Now next what I will do, connection is established now. Now I want to send a message from our SQL, our queue. So message one from FedEx app. Message one from FedEx app. This is a message I want to send. Send it. When you click on send, your message has been sent and is ready to receive. So Lambda might have received it already. Our Lambda method might have already received. Go to our code. Okay. But where you will see the print event? It has printed it. So where you can see it? No, you can click on. You have to. Actually, I have not deployed it, right? I have to deploy. I have to deploy it. I forgot to deploy. Deploy it. Now let me send a message again. It is not deployed before. The code is not running. So next, what I will do, I will go to our queue now. Message unread from FedEx app. Send message. Now this time FedEx definitely it has called the receive message on SQS. So to see the message, what we have to do? Click on third tab monitor. On the monitor, click on view CloudWatch service logs. So now here Lambda deals with another service called CloudWatch. CloudWatch, as you know, it will monitor all the details of all the services. So it also, I have another service called logs. It logs all information of other services as well. Click on the CloudWatch logs. When you click on it, a different window will open. Here logs groups will be shown here. Here you see a log lambda slash fetch SQS messages. This is our lambda function name. Under it, we should have a message. We have two messages here. Two messages received. Let's click the last one. It's simply having start and nothing is there. Okay. Let's again click on this message name, group name. Come down. Let's try with the other one. This time we have an extra message called records. The first previous one is the one which we have not deployed at the time. We does not receive any message. So after we deployed, the second message received. In this we have the message collected here. If you expand it, you'll see somewhere body message unread from FedEx. So our FedEx has our Lambda has retrieved message from our SQS, right? Similarly, you can say message 99 something and send again. Another message should be received here. So just refresh it, or else go to this log again. It should come. You see this first record, this second record. You have to expand the second record, expand it. You see body message 199. It's another message. This is a previous message. This is message unread. Like that, you can fetch the details messages from the queue. So these are the scenarios we can use in our real time. In real time, if we get a requirement in as a DevOps engineer, when we working, we get a requirement something like, so you log the file names, those file names which are pushed, which are uploaded into the S3 bucket. Then you can connect S3. You know how to connect S3 bucket with the SQS, and you know how to pull the messages from the SQS through Lambda. Then logs will be logged here. So today I will end our cloud, AWS cloud. If anything I miss, I will cover in one of the session, one of the weekend. But these services are enough so that we can start our regular other topics called DevOps tools. Till now, if you have any questions, please let me know. Any doubts, anything, general doubts, anything. If you have, after using it, please delete them. While I'm deleting, please, if you have any questions, ask me. I am waiting for your questions. And again, go to log groups. If any groups, then select all of them and you can delete them. Delete log groups. So all are deleted. And then what we have, queue. So queue also clean it. So carefully you see, if you are working on creating resources, you please observe in which region you are doing it. Okay. And also roles also, you delete roles which are not use, you are not, if you are not using, you delete them, the roles as well. So in under roles, click on the roles on the left side, you will have multiple roles. So here you can see there are multiple roles created, you can delete them if you don't require. Not all, don't delete all of them, only you delete which you have created, which you identify with the name, you can create them only. Okay, so if you see, if you learn, if you want to learn more about Boto 3, we have Amazon has provided Boto 3 SDK API. You can go through each and every topic. For every service you have the API examples, so you can go through it. Suppose EC2 was there, for example Amazon EC2, so we have various scenarios. So you can you can learn start instance, for example. So you can use this logic, whatever I explained you can explain in short way, but if you want to explore it in a thorough way, you can go with it. Okay. Next, today we will try to understand about GitHub and Git as well, Git and GitHub. So in our first session, we have already discussed about Git and GitHub. So what is Git and GitHub? We'll try to understand again. So Git is a tool. Git is a tool, okay, which we developers will use. Developers will use to uh, transfer or push their code to the central repository. So we'll push the transfer, okay, their code from yeah, from where, from from their local repository, from the local repository, okay, to central repository. So as I told you initial in central repository. So in the beginning I used to tell you that when you work in agile, everybody work in the sprint, right? When they work in the sprint, they will test their code. Once the code is tested and working fine, then assume the product is developed by around 60 developers or 50 developers. Then each person is developing, working on each task, but each task will be working on his local machine. But that is not sufficient. That code has to be merged. All the 60 developers code has to be merged. So for that for that case, we have to move that code to the central repository. Okay, here the central repository, here the central repository, we use a, a tool called GitHub. So like GitHub, we have multiple tools actually. Like GitHub, we have Bitbucket, okay, GitLab. Many are there. Many are there. But if you know how to work on, like if you know AWS cloud, then you can work on any other cloud. Similarly, if you know how to work with GitHub, then you can easily work on Bitbucket or GitLab or any central repository. You can work on anyone. But only the GUI, the front end will be different. Okay, what is the front end, for what purpose we use the front end, we will understand in a minute. But try to understand, when the developers completed their task, the task has to be moved to the central repository. And if you remember, let me show that diagram so that it helps me as well. You, if you remember this slide, initially we discussed on it. So when the developers develop the code, they will move their code to the central repository, that is a GitHub. So here, from here, then after learning what is GitHub and Git, so how they moving the code using the Git tool. Git is a software installed on the local machine. Every developer has to install Git software on their local machine. Using the using Git, we have some commands like push command, pull command, various commands we have. We will see that from now on. That using those we can push the code to the GitHub. Once the code is pushed, and then you have to learn Jenkins. But before you learning Jenkins, we have to learn major major things what GitHub do, major operations what it will do, and what operations we do with GitHub. Those things we have to understand. Okay, once we understand thoroughly about GitHub and Git, then we will learn Jenkins. Then we will understand how Jenkins will pull that code, how it gives to Maven, and how the code will be merged. This we will see in a sample project. Okay, in one of the project we will create one of the project here. In that project we'll deploy a project from as a developer. What I will do in one of the session, what I will do, I will create two developers. I will create two servers. So yeah, and one server will be one developer, another server will be another developer. So this developer will deploy code, I also deploy the code. That way I will mimic the real-time scenario. Okay, then we will see how the changes will work, both of the changes, how can we push, and how can we how can we merge them, how can we build them. So the building concept we will not see in GitHub. Building concept we will not see, because building is done, build concept is comes when you use Maven. But when you want to use Maven, then you should know Jenkins. So till GitHub, what we know, what we learn, going to learn, we will going to learn how we will push the data code to the Jenkins, sorry, to the GitHub. And then we also find out what issues will come when two developers move the code, and two developers worked on same file. For example, this person worked on a X file, and this person also worked on same X file. Then both push the code, then you will get an conflicts. So the GitHub will ask us, I will not able to store these files because this file is modified by two developers or three developers. There is a conflict, which one I have to keep? You first resolve yourself. You developers discuss yourself and resolve which one I have to take. So they have to merge it. They have to merge it, and then they have to push it to the GitHub. So these different scenarios in real time we'll see. So not only that, one moment please. Not only that, we will see, we learn about branches also. Branches. So we will have different branches. Okay, we will have feature branch, we have a develop branch. The names is not mandatory. It looks, should look same in real time. It will changes company to company, but most of the time they use develop branch, master branch, like that. They mostly use feature branch, develop branch, master branch. Okay, and release branch. Okay, there are different types of branches. So I will tell you and show you. So normally every developer will work on feature branch. Every developer work on feature branch, but when the topic comes on branches topic, at the time I will explain you, okay, with examples. But today we just started the topic. I don't want to get into in deep. I just give you overview, so that tomorrow onwards we will get into deep about Git and GitHub. Okay, but as of now, just overview I'm giving. So we will have branches. So whenever a project starts, when a sprint starts, then what happens, every developer will create a branch, will create a branch on the GitHub repository. You will create a branch. So whatever code development you do, you will push his code to this branch. So the sprint, assume the sprint is 10 days, for example, 10 working days. Then every day he will, in a single day he cannot complete the task, right? So on third day or fourth day he do some progress. That progress he will move to the feature branch, and he will go to home. He cannot keep that code on his on local machine, because on his local machine, if anything happens to to his hard disk or something, the efforts what he has kept is gone, right? That is the reason everyday developers have to create their own, not every day, whenever a sprint starts, they have to create a branch, their own branch. No, it is a feature branch. So what feature they are working on that feature, they will create a feature, and they will move their code to it. And after code is working fine, then the code feature branch, sorry, the feature branch code whatever they did has to be moved to another branch called develops branch, develop branch. They have to move to develop branch. So they have to move to develop branch only when they tested thoroughly the code whatever they developed. When they thoroughly tested, then they can merge their feature branch code to the develop branch. They can merge it. Once the develop branch is done, then this develop branch code, the code from the develop branch will be move to deployed into the development server. So once the code is moved to development branch, we can name it anyway, no problem. The code will be deployed into the server and it will be tested. Suppose it's working fine, development branch is working fine, then finally what we have to do? We have to move it to different environments. You can move it to different environments. Finally, whenever you want to deploy into the production server, then the code which is in the development branch will be moved to the release branch. So release branch, once the code is moved to the release branch, then that code normally the developer DevOps engineers we will get information that now you can deploy the code which is inside the release branch. Then what we do, we will deploy this release branch using the one of our Jenkins tools. So we will deploy the code which is in the release branch. After deploying the release branch, what we will do, the code which is in the release branch will be moved copied to master branch. Code which is in the release branch is moved to master branch. So master branch should not touch it. We will touch it only when the code is deployed. The code deploys when the code moves to release branch. Only it's in release branch means the code is been deployed. Once the deployment is done, for example, on March 2nd deployment is there. Assume March 2nd deployment is completed. Then on March 3rd, once you get information from the client saying that okay deployment is working fine, or they will say we have some issues, then you should not merge that code which is in the release branch to the master branch. Again, if it's an issues, then the developers again they have to fix the issues and everything will repeat. Again it comes to another, they will fix another date. Otherwise, if the small issues are assumed, then the developers will give a hot fix. Hot fix means immediately on the release day itself they have to fix. They have to sit in the on the same day. They have to spend extra hours. They have to fix the issue on the same day if it's very urgent. If it's not, that feature is not very important, then they can postpone it to for next release. The next release can be next sprint, right? So what I'm saying here is that if your code is in development branch, then the code should not be moved to master branch. The code should be moved to release branch. Once the client said that the code is working fine, it's fine, then only you have to move the release branch to master branch. Now the master, whatever the code contains in master branch is a now the correct working code. Now next sprint when starts, whenever the next sprint starts, okay, then the developers will again create a new feature branch. In the feature branch, what they will do, they will in feature branch when when a new when a new sprint starts, developers will create a new feature branch, okay, and this feature branch will contain code existing in the master branch. So whenever you create a new feature branch, the feature branch, there is an option in GitHub or in Bitbucket and GitLab. There is option. Okay, you are want to create a feature branch, no problem. So what you want the base code? Base means now you are going to work now. So you are already your work is up to date here on so and so day, March 3rd. The latest code is here. Now you are working for the sprint. Next sprint you are working now. Then you have to work on the latest code only, right? The latest code available in the master branch. Then the developer whenever they work start the new code new task in the new sprint, then they have to create a feature branch, and this feature branch will will should contain the base code taken from the master branch. Okay, how to take? Very simple. They, I'm sorry, from the master branch, right? So it is simple. You will have two drop down boxes. You will create your own feature branch, and your option drop down. In the drop down you will select which branch you want to take as a base code. To this feature branch, which code you want to take as a base code, then you will select master branch. You will never select develop or release. You always should take master branch. Then you will get your feature branch will contain the latest code. On top of it you will start working. Similarly, if you have if your project, if there are 60 developers, every developer will create their own feature branch, and every developer will has to take latest code from the master branch. It's a simple introduction, but when we working in practically, when we working on master branches, when branches, we will see this practically, how to create branches and how to switch between branches. Okay, so tomorrow we'll install Git, and we'll see how to use Git, and I also will tomorrow will create a repository on the GitHub. So we have to create a repository. You have to create your own repository in the GitHub. Git. So if you don't have an account, you have to create an account as well on the GitHub. So you cannot work directly like that. You have to go to github.com, and click on sign up. If you already you have signed in, no problem. Otherwise, you have to sign up. Click on sign up. Welcome to GitHub. Let's begin the adventure. So enter your email ID. So I will say Madan DevOps 2024 at gmail.com. Okay. So you also have to give the same way. You have to give your own Gmail ID. Okay. Continue. Password. Continue. Enter username. So this is email ID. What username you want to give? You can give something. This is the same username you can give. You can give any name. I will give same Madan DevOps 2024. Continue. You want to ask occasional? I don't want. Continue. Verifying your account. Verify. Please solve this puzzle. Uh, okay. Verify. So directions. Let's try this one. Submit. One done. Enter code. Okay, I might be received some. So similarly, you also will get some message, or else is the GitHub mail you get. These are code we have to paste. Paste it. So this help you to get rules. Just me, or I'll say student. Continue. You select student. Okay, are you a student or teacher? Student. Click on continue. So what specific features are you interested in using? Automation and CI/CD. You can select it. Continue. Learn to ship software like a pro. So it is a free and it is a pay chargeable. So click on continue for free. Now this is your dashboard. Okay, and you will get your name over here. So this is my username. Okay, now tomorrow we'll create a repository. See, creating a repository is very simple. You can click on create repository over here, or you can click a plus symbol over here, create a new repository, or you can click over here. Where is that option? Your repositories, go here, inside that you'll option get a option to create a new repository. Okay, so tomorrow we see practicals, but as of now, you tomorrow be ready with your own account, GitHub account, and also install Git software on okay, don't install Git software on your local machine, because everything we will be doing on the cloud now onwards. That's the reason we learned cloud initially. So from tomorrow onwards we will create Git, we will install Git on the cloud only. Tomorrow we will create an instance, and then we install Git software on it. Tomorrow I will show you. But the GitHub, you will open an account tomorrow and be ready with your own account. If any issue with opening the account, let me know tomorrow. Okay, that's all for today. We'll continue tomorrow at same time. Thank you for your time, and have a good day. And before that, any questions, please? I will wait for 10 seconds. If you have any questions, let me know, please.
Hello, Madan.
Yes.
Hello, Madan. May I know, when you will be starting GCP as well as Azure Cloud?
See, if I start it immediately, you will feel bored. Actually, I have my plans actually for that. So we will
Okay,
let's finish some good amount of tools. Then I will take the classes on Azure and GCP.
sure. Then it will be in the last, right?
I'm sorry.
Maybe it will be in the last, right? During the ending of
uh,
the course.
Most probably that can be a chance. Otherwise we'll see in between also, if possible I will take, but most probably uh, after completing Kubernetes.
Sure, sure, sure. Okay, fine. Thank you.
Right, thank you. Any other questions, please? If no questions, then we'll end today. Tomorrow we'll meet. Okay, take care, have a good day.